Hey guys, it's Christina and I'm back with another school related video. I guess it's more of like a college related video, but it's just pretty much some studying tips and some organization tips for college. I know that when I was in high school I didn't really study that much, and then first semester of college I didn't study that much. Second semester I should have studied more than I actually studied, and now I have this semester, which is a very important semester, and I know I have to study a lot. If you watched my update video, you probably heard me mention that I have a lot of reading this semester, and that's something I'm not really used to. So before the semester started, I just decided to make a plan of what I was going to do and how I was going to study. And so far, it seems to be working for me. So I just combined stuff that I'd heard my parents tell me about studying, stuff that other YouTube videos had told me about studying, and stuff that I knew worked for me, and I came up with a study plan. So I'm going to share that with y'all first, and then I'm going to get into some organization tips. So organization tips probably won't be that long, but yeah, let's just get into how I study. Okay, so this is my child and family development textbook, but it's actually in a binder because I ordered the loose leaf version. Oh gosh, it's totally upside down. Okay. Anyways, because I ordered the loose leaf version, but this is just my book. And so what I'll do is I'll look at the syllabus that my teacher gives me, and I'll look at whatever chapter we're going to cover in class, and I'll read that chapter before class starts. So this is the inside of my child family development book. And as you can see, I highlighted inside of my book. And sometimes I don't highlight inside of my books if I'm renting it, but this one I bought because it's a loose leaf one, like I said. So yeah, the first time I look at the information, all I do is I read through the chapter and I highlight anything that I think is important with highlighter. I think it takes a couple years to get to know what exactly you need to highlight, but I just highlight main ideas and anything that I find really important. And sometimes people, if they don't find something important, they'll look for something important. But really, I mean, I highlight a good bit, but I don't highlight every single word. So yeah, that's just my first time looking at the information. Okay, so this is my child family development notebook. And what I do is after I highlighted the book, that's when I'll write my notes. I don't like to write my notes and read the book at the same time because I get distracted, and this gives you a second viewing of the information. So the first viewing was when you read the book, and then you're looking at the information again when you're actually taking your notes. So I just like to write my notes in black or blue ink, and then I don't know if y'all can tell, but after I write my notes, I go through another time and I take a colored pen and I underline any definitions, any titles, or anything that I find important. And I just like to take really neat notes. So that's just what I do. I write my notes in my notebook. So a lot of my classes, the professor makes notes for you. And a lot of times the test will be a combination of book notes and lecture notes. So what I do is I make sure that I print off my lecture notes before class, and I put them in this little page protector. And yeah, it's just pretty organized. This teacher is really nice because some of the notes are fill in the blank. Let me try to find some stuff. Some of this stuff is fill in the blank, so that just makes sure that you're actively engaged in class. But I print off my PowerPoints in black and white because it saves ink, and then also it helps my writing stand out. So when I take additional notes in the lecture, I like to use pink or purple ink just so that my additional notes stand out. I like to go crazy with color when I'm taking my notes because sometimes I realize I get more caught up in the color than I do actually taking my notes. Okay, so like I said before, my professor already made the lecture notes for me, but as she's talking about the lecture notes in class, what I do is I take them out, and I have the lecture notes on this side of my desk, but then I have my book notes on the other side of my desk, and that's where these highlighters come in. Anything that's mentioned in the lecture notes that I already took notes on in the book notes, I highlight because those are obviously important. Like the professor made sure that we got them twice. She knew that we would read them in the book, and she mentioned them in class. So I figured those are the pretty much main parts that are going to be on the test. So I just take notes on whatever was mentioned in class. And then if anything's mentioned in class that I didn't take notes on, which rarely happens, then I'll probably just add them at the bottom. So let's just go over how many times you looked at your notes. You looked at your notes the first time when you were highlighting in your book. You looked at your notes the second time when you were taking notes of the highlights in your book. And then after that, you look at your notes a third time because you're listening to what the professor is saying in class. You look at your notes a fourth time because you're highlighting anything in your book notes that was also mentioned in class. So now we're going to get into the fifth time that you're going to look at your notes. So this is a lot of times of you being able to absorb this information before you even get to sit down and study for the test. So the fifth time you look at your notes is after you finish highlighting all the main points in your book notes that were also mentioned in class. What I like to do is make a study guide. And study guides can be really tedious if it's like the day before a test and you want to make a study guide. So what I do is I go chapter by chapter and I make the study guide after I finish reading that chapter, so that at the end I'll have all these study guides, but I won't have to waste any time actually making them. So what I do is, this is just my chapter 1 study guide. I just make a question out of anything that was highlighted in my book notes that was also mentioned in class, and anything else that I might have left off. And I put this in colored pen, and then I put this study guide in a page protector at the front of whatever chapter I'm working on. So that's just something I do. So that's the fifth time you look at your notes. So then the sixth time you look at your notes is when you're filling out the study guide. So that's 6 full times that you've looked at your notes before you've even started studying for a test. And I know that sounds really nerdy and geeky, but that's like pretty good. And it's like, I mean, it's a pretty easy process, and it definitely helps me make sure that I've retained all of my information. So let's just get into how I organize my notebook. Yeah, for my notebook, I just, at the beginning section, I always put a syllabus in the front. This is just because I'll need to look up my dates and stuff like that, and I always want to know exactly where my syllabus is. So I'll put the syllabus at the front, and then in the syllabus, they'll tell you what chapters that you're going to be working on in your book. So what I did is I made a tab for each chapter that I already knew would be a section. So there's chapters 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 through 12, and so on and so on. So then at the beginning of the chapter, that's where I put my lecture notes, and then I'll put my study guide, and then after that, that's just where I'll put my book notes. But yeah, there's nothing really special about how I organize my notebook. I just like to clear it out periodically and make sure each paper is in the right place, because especially if you have like a final that's cumulative, you want your notebook to be pretty organized. Then in the back of my note, I have Scantrons. At the beginning of the year, your teacher will usually put what kind of Scantrons that you need. Sorry. At the beginning of the year, your teacher will probably put what type of Scantrons that you need in your syllabus, and so I think it's really good to get those at the beginning of the semester, because there have been so many times either me or someone else in my class forgets their Scantron on the day of the test. So I've just realized it's better to buy your Scantrons in bulk before, and that way you'll never have to like wake up really early and go to the school store, and you won't be stressed out. Okay, now to get into some more organizational tips. This is just a portfolio that I bought at Office Max, and in here I have any important documents that I need. I print off 2 copies of my syllabi. I put one in my notebook, and then I put one in here, just in case anything pops up and I need to find a syllabus really quickly. And then also in here I have other things, like I have a schedule for open lab classes, and I'll put in a schedule for tutoring. I have doctor's notes, prescriptions, like stuff like that. Anything important that I know that if I'm ever having like an emergency or something like that, I'll just know where to grab it. Okay, lastly, I definitely think that you should come to college with an agenda. It's just something that you're going to need. Some people like to put it on their phone, but I hate doing that. So, I'll just give you guys an idea of what I keep in my agenda. The first day of school, I can't remember where anything is, and I can't remember what time anything is. So you can print off your schedule, but I just like making my schedule look cute. So this is just the days and times of each of my classes. Then I have like a little cheat sheet. So this is less big, obviously, and it has the days and times of all of my classes, but it also has the locations of them. So this is something that I definitely used the first week of school, because I was always like pulling out, putting it back, and yeah, those 2 things have definitely been a lifesaver. And then this is another thing that might seem a little weird, but it's something I do to make sure that I have a productive day. The day before, like Sunday night, I'll make a schedule for Monday, and Monday night I'll make a schedule for Tuesday. So this is my schedule for Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, And he pretty much just has hour by hour what I'm going to do. If I have lunch with someone, I'm going to write it down. If I have a meeting with someone, I'm going to write it down. If I need to go to tutoring or the library, I write it down, because there's so many times that I've been on campus being like, what could I be doing right now? I don't have enough time to go home. But then once I made the schedule, I make sure that I do all the productive stuff I need to do during the day. So those are just 3 things that have helped me. And as for what's in the agenda, I pretty much put anything. I put social stuff, I put school stuff, and a lot of people like to color code it, but I've been pretty lazy this first week, but I probably will get into color coding it. But it's pretty simple for what I do. I write down my assignments, and then once I do it, I highlight it. So as you can see, I had a lot of stuff going on the first day. And like, look, next week is already filled out. And like, I can go to like the month of October and it's filled out. And that's because once I get my syllabus, I take the time and I write down each and every date and each and every one of my syllabus in my agenda, just so I can get it over with. Because if you're doing that week by week, it's just really annoying. And then like, if you're not even writing in your agenda at all, like, you're bound to not turn in something, or you're bound to not turn in something on time. So I think it's just really good to take those extra 10 minutes to write down every single due date that's in your syllabus before the semester starts, because it cuts back on stress. Okay, so those are pretty much my main studying and organization tips for this school year. I'll probably have one, I don't know, I'll probably have more of these types of videos to help you guys do well in school, or just more school-related videos. But yeah, if you guys have any requests that are about college or hair, because that's what this channel is mainly about, or fashion or anything like that, feel free to leave them below. And thank you so much for bearing with me, you guys, and thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Feel free to like this video or subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!